Very considerate of me, as usual, and I offered to go with her to pick up Kun Pa, her dad. And then she's got some laundry to do, and I know she doesn't feel, this has got to be like one of the safest cities literally in the entire world, but she doesn't like being by herself. She feels vulnerable, and she is a tiny little person, and other than her play fighting with me and stuff, she really couldn't fight to save herself. Anyhow, so she doesn't feel comfortable, and so I always volunteer to go with her. I always did that with my first wife, and well, we see how that ended, but it was the right thing to do. So I'm gonna go do that, but she suggested rather than going, it's an 8-minute drive, so rather than going there, getting Kun Pa, coming back home, bringing him back home, he's been on night watch watching his dad. His dad is very sick. Grandpa is very, very sick. He doesn't do a whole lot to help himself, but that's most people in the world, but he's just whatever. But so it was considered. I'll go with her on the second trip. That way, I'm not going back and back, which is the time in the car is what freaking kills me. And I had a lot of time in the car yesterday, unfortunately, just helping Fawn with some stuff. Basically, show of force, riding along, doing the pet monkey thing, which is, is what it is. But was again the right thing to do, I thought. And I didn't want to sit at the house all day. And we did go to a couple places that I wanted. We did end up having a nice late lunch, I'll call it, at Bet Bistro. Really nice. This time I remembered to order the salad with the dressing on the side, because they frickin' drown it. And then you've got about a 1,500 calorie high-fat salad, which really, I'll eat it still, but really, as it is, I use about 5% of the salad dressing they give me, and it tastes fine. It tastes great, actually. So anyhow, I'm just trying a very slow walk. I am now maybe 2 weeks to the day past the second and last of the electroacupuncture treatments, and I'm doing better. I've also got my use of my core back, and I've been able to do light exercise, and like here right now, some careful walking, and oh gosh, yeah, now I'm improving a little, and I did that weird abdominal massage, 6-pack core massage thing, whatever the hell it was. My friend's wife basically pleaded with me to allow them to do. Locking my core has been my saving grace. It's been my #1 success strategy, and then to give that up even for a little bit is like, oh, all right, maybe once, but it seems to be working. So I've believed, like what choice do you have, but I have believed, I think there's a very narrow path out of this where I'm not going to get normal function back, but I can have a facsimile thereof if I'm very careful. I don't even care about being in pain so much. It's the nerve damage that concerns me, because I'm only 59 and I'd like to live a little while yet. And damaged nerves probably are not conducive to that plan. Let's see, other stuff. The Tuk D closed. I felt bad for the people. Kun Pa said he didn't because they knew what they were doing and they didn't pay their franchise fees, and that's that. So, okay. I'm going to have to go with Kun Pa on that one. But they do run a successful business in a neighboring town, and they should know how to do that. But anyways, I felt bad for them. The whole family was, saving faces, everything here, and they lost face big time 2 days ago. They were all sitting on the front stoop of their porch area. It used to be a community gathering area. Now it's just desolate. They're all sitting there, kind of heads down, and kind of almost like publicly for shame. Like it was weird. And the franchise owners came out with 2 big trucks, biggest trucks I've seen in this village, and cleaned the entire store out, rack and shelving, the inventory, everything gone. So I was just sad to see, as a former business owner and a serial entrepreneur. It's just always sad when you see that. But I asked Fawn if they'll open it back up Condillo on their own, and she thought maybe they might. So I hope they do. Anyway, so no Tuk D. Sucks. That was kind of a cool place to go to. Somewhere to go, something to do. I'm getting some friends texting me from back home now. Hey, you coming? I go, yep. So that feels good. I'm obviously well aware that most expats here have, I would say, no connection back to their home country anymore. Most guys that are here have no connection, which is Doesn't sound good. I mean, I can't judge because I'm new in these shoes. It is far here, like duh, but I didn't really quite sink in when I made this plan. You know, and I thought, oh, it's a flight, it's a flight. What's the difference? 15 hours on a flight versus 5. What's the difference? Once a year, who cares? But it does matter. It does matter, and it does isolate you, good and bad, I guess. But anyhow, funds all over it, getting me ready. We did a kind of a test, volume test for clothes and things I'm bringing back, and the size of my luggage, it looks like a proper fit. Looks like I was worried maybe I need another bag because there's so much stuff, but it's actually not that bad when you put it next to the giant suitcase she suggested I buy, which was a good move. She does give good advice. She gives excellent help. And she's beautiful. She is really beautiful. We've had our little stuff. I get fed up with some of the attitude stuff here and there, but she's taken the pushback better on all that, and that's been nice too. So I hope and think everything is going well in that department with us. It feels like it. Being loved by a beautiful young woman is really quite a nice feeling. I'm curious. A friend of mine just broke up with his girlfriend. He's dating a new girl now. Like, he sent me a picture. Like, I never met his former girlfriend. I never met her. I saw her in 2 photos for a few seconds. So I remembered that she was really quite pretty. And then he showed me some photos. He just said, hey, here I am, and here we are. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, sort of similar-ish. But I remember thinking, gee, it doesn't really look like her. But, Thai girl, the medium-length black hair and a slight tan, I guess, It was a new girl. So I got to ask him what happened. I'm curious for viewers of the channel. I'm curious for long-term viewers of the channel in particular, if you've had a breakup experience here in Thailand, what was your experience? How'd that go? Because I certainly have heard some awfully ugly stories. Obviously, they don't all go that way, but Thai women are sort of really famous for their jealousy, and they're pretty well known. They're very well known, in my opinion, from everything I hear, about not taking a breakup too well, particularly from a foreign guy. But I don't know if they take a breakup well from anybody. They really don't end their relationships. In fact, that's going to be the next content that I do. I'm going to do one on female eligibility, because this is a problem that a lot of guys have, and I just kind of figured this out. This kind of came from a couple things. One, sure, yeah, duh. It strokes my ego when a pretty, and I mean, like, guys, let's be fair to Rob here, really, really pretty women will flirt with me or make it clear that they're available to me. Okay, it's flattering. It's flattering. I'm not thinking even for a second, how can I calculate maybe, I got my hands full. I really do. Okay. But then it came back on one of these ladies, and this is a really, really pretty lady. I actually have some pictures with her. She's a friend in our periphery, and there were some group photos, and she was next to me in the group in a couple pictures. I guess looking back on the body language in the photo, a little overly affectionate, but I get that a lot. I get that from a lot of whatever. Hey, I get that a lot. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, but all that fun aside, it came back as to probably why she was so interested, and that's sort of like a blow to the old ego a little bit. It was all financial. That lady's got some serious financial challenges, and it's I would say, I guess you would say, like, she's like financially dysfunctional, just spending money that she and her family don't have. The first Thai girl I dated was like that. The first Thai girl I dated, she basically financially ruined her mother. I figured that out while we were dating, and then I broke it off, and she texted me, very chipper and upbeat and friendly, like, hey, like just forgetting everything in the past, and what are you doing? Want to get together for coffee? I mean, she was messaging me up until with 6 months ago, if not more recent than that. And I always told Fawn when she'd message me, and Uh, I guess it's not an uncommon name here. So her name was Supetra. And Supetra was very pretty. Very, very, very pretty on the outside, but ugly person. Can you take out insurance policies and other people in Thailand? I just see a potential business. Good morning. So, anyways, yeah, motorcycle safety is not a thing here. Neither is driver safety. Anyways, I want to do a thing and talk about breakups and stuff because I'm kind of curious how that goes. If some people want to comment on this video, if they've had a breakup experience and kind of how it went, I'd just be curious. You hear some pretty crazy stories pretty commonly, and then it never seems like it's a real, like, hey, I've never heard of a really amicable one. I just sort of, with the Supetra, I just sort of cut her out real quick because once I realized she was a scammer and she was really just really working against, hang on. And I realized she was really working against my best interest, and I didn't really have much regard for her feelings, obviously. So, as much as you have regard for feelings for the scorpion that's trying to sting you. So, I just blocked her everywhere. And, man, I'll tell you, she was persistent. She messaged me for, shit, a year and a half. That's a long time. But, so I guess that evidences the fact that as pretty as she is, and she is very physically pretty, but now I recognize that it's all plastic surgery pretty, not real pretty. I found a before picture of her because she works at a plastic surgery clinic. And I looked down there, I'm like, I just wonder, and I scrolled way down in the before photos and I found her. Very hard to recognize her, but unmistakably, I knew her well enough. I'm like, that's her. I'd recognize her anyway. And once you've been with somebody a while, you'd know them. You could see their silhouette, you'd know it's them. And 100% I know it was her. But I mean, only I would have recognized her. Anybody in the channel, if I showed her before, you'd go, Rob, this is the same girl. And go, yeah, it is. So, anyhow, shocking what they can do. That's where I really learned how much they can really take this surgery stuff. But anyhow, now just a little village gossip of what's going on a little bit. So I'm just kind of waiting for Fawn. I've shaved and threw on some casual clothes. I'm just going to watch, help her with, really, I don't even lift the laundry because I can't. I gotta be careful. My back is a little bit pain this morning, but I had my workout yesterday. So I think I'm going to put one of those medicated plasters on my back so I don't expose my body to any more ibuprofen. Fawn got me hot and cold ones. I did a cold one last night. It worked really well. I'll try maybe a hot one this morning just scientifically. But I'm going to pack a cold one with me just in case. Always pack a cold one, boys. I'm going to do that. And I just want to have a nice quiet day today. I want to read. I'm halfway through my Sherlock Holmes book, the Scarlet, whatever it is. It's the first Sherlock Holmes written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So it's again, quite a good book so far. Daniel's read all the books, I believe. He says it kind of stalls around this point where I'm at, and then it gets a little boring. So I have a higher tolerance of boredom than he does because I'm so much older than him. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to go finish my coffee. So everybody, thanks for all the support and all the really great comments. Really appreciate that. Where'd all the morons go? Haven't had a real idiot on the channel in a while. It's really kind of nice. And I really do appreciate it because the guy, one of the very few people on YouTube that I follow is this Greg fellow that has the channel Moto Jitsu, like moto motorcycle, and then jitsu like jujitsu. He makes black belt analogies to level of skill for motorcycle handling. He's an advanced motorcycle handler, but he isn't a stunter and he's not a moron. He's just a calm, rational person who's very technically good at riding a motorcycle. I used his channel to refresh my skills from a long hiatus from motorcycling to get the dust off those old skills. And they all came back. And it's all great. And as you all know, I love it. And I feel like I'm doing it safely, partially with the help of his channel. Anyhow, he closed his Instagram and Facebook account and disabled comments across his entire channel because he was just getting so much crap from people, which is weird because he's talking about safety in motorcycling. Like, that doesn't seem controversial. Like, no, we won't have any safety. I mean, like, who's against that? There's obviously more to it than that, but it's hard. If you watch his channel, he doesn't come across like an a-hole or anything. I mean, seems like a rational guy. I don't know how he'd get so much hate. He's getting like an enormous amount of hate. And here, our channel, we're talking about like cultural stuff and very personal stuff. And often when people are at a financial low point, shifting to a fixed income. And we're like handling that just fine. So hats off to you guys. So thank you. I'm now watching his. He's put up 2 videos on why he did this and the results of it so far, and it really made me think about my channel. Obviously, like, dang, you know, I guess I'm really lucky. So really a deep-hearted, deep felt thank you to everyone. That's kind of amazing now looking at his thing, but I guess we ain't doing so bad. So anyways, that's it. Little update in the village is all good, and I'm gonna go put my medicated plaster on my back. See ya. In this week's episode, Rob finds the beer aisle at the big grocery store. I got 2 medium-sized cans of beer because they didn't have it in small. I got 2 lemon shandies. Where is it? Oh, there are these here. I took the lemon one way back there, the green can. You can barely see it. Those are pretty good. 53 baht. Pretty reasonable. All kinds of crazy stuff here. Some of it's really expensive, like way more than 18 bucks for a 6-pack. US. I mean, that seems crazy, but some kind of special import, I guess. Must be a huge tariff or something. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect.